Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So at the time that this reading is going up, Saturn is entering into the sign of Aries and it's going to be there for the next 3-ish years. If you want to just go ahead and jump into the pick a card part of this reading, the TLDR of this is that Saturn is going to be in Aries from May 24th, 2025 until April 13th, 2028. And so in this reading, we're gonna see what you can expect during that period. This is Saturn's schedule. Like I just mentioned, Saturn is gonna be entering into the sign of Aries on May 24th, 2025. And then it is going to go retrograde on July 13th. It's gonna dip back into Pisces from September 1st to November 27th of 2025. Then it's gonna go direct. It's gonna go back into Aries on February 14th, 2026, which means that Saturn's stint in Pisces is officially over in February 2026. And then he is going to stay direct in the sign of Aries for the next 2 or so years, finally exiting the sign of Aries on April 13th, 2028. So in total, this transit is going to last just under 3 years. There are 3 groups to choose from today. So I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. For my group number 1s, we have Crazy Lace Agate. For my group number 2s, we have Thulite. And for my group number 3s, we have Amethyst. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Crazy Lace Agate, this is going to be your reading all about the transit of Saturn through Aries and how it's going to be affecting you. I want to start off this reading with a little energy check. So we are going to take a look at the energy you are coming into this transit with. If you're watching this a little while after Saturn has already entered into Aries, then you can just think of this as your current energy at the time that you're watching. But if what I'm describing does resonate with your current situation, then that will be your sign that you found your group. And I want to roll some dice as well for this part. So for my group number 1s, we have Uranus, we have Neptune, and we have the sign of Virgo. Okay, this is interesting that we have Uranus and Neptune here because Uranus and Neptune are changing signs as well. Well, actually, Neptune already changed signs recently. It entered into the sign of Aries, and Uranus is going to be changing signs in July. So that could be something that affects you as well. Oh my gosh, actually, I'm just looking at my notes, and Uranus is going to enter Gemini on July 7th, and then Saturn is going retrograde on July 13th. So for those of you who chose this group, the month of July, especially the first half, could be kind of crazy for you. But I also think it's interesting that we have, and by the way, crazy doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could just be very eventful. I think it's interesting that we have 2 outer planets here because this tells me that a lot of things that are going to be affecting you during this time are things happening on a collective level. Things happening to the world at large. You're going to feel the effects of that a lot in your personal life. But we have the sign of Virgo here, and intuitively what I feel with this is that your life is going to become more neatly organized and simple during this time. There may have been some things out of your control that were very set in their ways, that were very like energies that were stubbornly not changing, and it was really hindering you. I'm hearing some energies were being selfish. Like you had to deal with these kind of my way or the highways energy. We're not changing the rules. We're not changing the policies because I said so. And it was really messing with you. And these energies are going to become more flexible and more willing to take your interests into consideration and listen to your opinion. You're also going to have the confidence to speak up about what's not working for you and what you wish would change. And so your life is going to become a lot more simple. I could give an analogy of, for so long you had to take a really complicated way to work because something was blocking your way. And it was like, oh my gosh, if this boulder wasn't in the way, I could just go from point A to point B. I could go to work in a straight line and it would take like 5 minutes. And instead of having to do all this weird shit because this boulder is so stubborn and it won't reason with me and it won't leave. And now the boulder is leaving. And so you can go from point A to point B. Your life is just becoming more smooth, more efficient, more fast, more easy. Okay? There might be a little bit of chaotic energy while things are getting moved around, maybe around the month of July. But I feel like after that, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be smooth sailing for you. Okay. So let's take a look at your oracle cards. They're upside down. Well, this one is. We have trust with the number 32 and the keyword egg moon. Trust the vision. We have Dreamtime and Awakening, Cetacean Whale, and this card is related to parallel timelines. We have I Follow My Bliss. And okay, we have the number 32 coming out twice. So that could be a significant number for this group. And it says, you have value just by being here. You bring value just by existing. That's beautiful. This person kind of looks like a baby that's about to be born because they're in sort of a fetal position and their head is facing down. So, oh my gosh, wait a minute. That imagery is twice. That imagery is happening twice and it's somehow related to the number 32. I wonder if someone's like 32 and having a baby. That would be very significant, like someone giving birth at the age of 32. But I just had to mention it. But that's so interesting because this person looks like they're floating in a womb. And this person is quite literally in an egg. So group number 1, I feel like you have been in some kind of incubating period. For many of you, I am taking this as a new version of you that is emerging, like group 1 version 3.0 vibes. A new version of you is emerging, is coming out of the egg, and you've had to really trust the vision and trust the process. It's like you could see the future vision and you had to trust with everything that was happening in your life that it was leading you to that version, that it was leading you to this moment. And you had to trust that if you just kept following your joy, that version of you would emerge. Yeah, you've been, I want to say like incubating. This new version of you has been growing and growing. And so I feel like with this transit, it's time for that new version of you to be born. And rather than this being a future you, I feel like this is a you that already exists on a parallel timeline and you are aligning with it. 91 or 19 could be a significant number. Maybe someone's born in 1991. 19, 23, 32. Okay, so if all of this resonates with you, then you have found your group. But we're gonna get into the tarot now and sort of look at a timeline. Ooh, I just accidentally rolled the dice over and now it's in the sign of Capricorn. So Your career is possibly an area of your life that is going to be significantly changing during this transit. You are likely rising to have more power or more responsibilities or both. You could be promoting yourself. Okay. Some of you could be promoting yourself. You're like, you know what? I'm ready for a higher level position. I'm ready for more challenging opportunities. I'm ready for more responsibilities. And you could be taking initiative to seek those out. Others of you could be given a promotion. There's a feeling of you rising to the top and taking your role more seriously. You trust yourself enough to take on bigger responsibilities, and you trust yourself to put yourself in a role where more is expected of you and more is on the line. You're like, I can handle it. I feel like your reputation is going to be significantly going up during this period. You are going to be respected. You're going to be recognized. You could be either the leader of a group, or within the group, your opinions are very valued and really taken into consideration when making decisions. But yeah, you're definitely gaining a lot of respect. Okay, so I don't know how long this candle is going to last, by the way. I just picked it because it was blue, but if she goes out, we'll get another one. Let's get our timeline for you. I feel like watery, moon-like energy. You're making your dream a reality during this period, and visions that you've had or dreams that you've had that were kind of vague and hazy are becoming very clear at this time. What's going on for my group number ones during this period? While Saturn is in the sign of Aries, how is this going to be affecting my group number ones? A card flipped over while I was shuffling, and I did see that it was a Pentacles card, but before I even really had time to look at what it was, I just flipped it back over. I was like, no, and kept shuffling. And interesting. I only saw that it was Pentacles, and we were just talking about your career going through significant changes during this period. Some of you are really going to feel like tunnel vision towards a certain goal. And I also feel like I'm using the word vision a lot. You know, whoa, you have tunnel vision, you're trusting your vision, you see the vision, your vision is becoming clear. The vision that you've had for the future is materializing during this time. It's becoming clearer. And life could be throwing a lot of distractions at you, but you're not having it. You are so locked in and focused on your goal. I honestly feel like, I was picking up on a bit of chaotic energy for you, especially around the month of July. I honestly feel like you're either going to be unbothered by the chaos or actually thriving in it because of how focused you are on your end goal. For some reason, I feel like saying CW could be significant initials, or WC, DA, or AD. Really remember though, as you start leveling up, as you start gaining more respect for the work that you do and people seeing the value in that, it's really important that you remember you are valuable just by existing. So yes, celebrate the value that you're creating through your work. Celebrate the fact that others see the value in what you do. But remember that that's not your whole value. There might be temptation sometime, or the tendency sometimes, to tie your self-worth to like how much wealth you generated or how much results you produced, how capable you are at what you do. And yes, that is value. It's part of your value, but it's not the essence of it, and it's not everything about you. You could stop doing all of that tomorrow and still be valuable. Your true value is in just existing. That will be a lesson you learn during this time, and that actually allows you to engage with your work in a much more fulfilling way, because you're like, I'm not doing this work to prove that I'm worthy. I'm doing it because I love it. It creates a much more healthy relationship with your work. What can my group number ones expect during this period that Saturn is in the sign of Aries? This first card is really taking a long time to come out, eh? And I wonder if this is you waiting for confirmation that you've been reborn, waiting for confirmation that you have successfully switched timelines. We have the Seven of Swords. It looks like this clown skeleton is trying to deceive the distinguished skeleton. I feel like this is you. You see your vision, you know your worth, and this clown energy, it could be a thought in your head, it could be an external energy, but it's something trying to make you question your worth, which is very clown-like. But those, I just saw 1515, which is the number of the devil. Those thoughts, those limiting beliefs can definitely seep in when it's taking time to see proof of your transformation. So for the first few months of this transit, you could be kind of grappling with some doubt, but I'm happy that this came out as a swords card, because I do think it shows you have a recognition that it's in your mind, like it's your mind playing tricks on you. Even if in your heart you don't believe those doubtful voices, those thoughts could be kind of getting to you in the start. What if you're delusional? What if this transformation isn't happening? Blah, 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 like all those kinds of thoughts. And I'm hearing these are happening in the 11th hour. These are happening right before your breakthrough. Okay, the Saturn retrograde that's happening, that could lead to some feelings of self-doubt. It's important during that time you remember that it's your mind playing tricks on you. Those feelings could be kind of strong in July or August. Yeah, I'm just noticing the cards are taking a long time to come out. So this is that classic energy of my transformation is taking time, and that's making me question if it's really going to happen. We have the Three of Pentacles. Success in a team, or If you're a member of a team, it could be that your team is becoming successful together. This could also indicate people rallying around you to help your individual success. Like I'm hearing teamwork makes the dream work. This is a card of teamwork, collaboration, people who are serious about getting stuff done, people who have a good work ethic, people whose strengths complement each other. So maybe the final ingredient to your transformation is this teamwork and collaboration, but I do feel like people, I want to say humans for some reason. So maybe it's very important that you know this support is not just happening on like a spirit guide level. This is actual humans coming in to support your goals in a concrete way. And I think this is really going to blow your doubt out of the water and maybe even make you realize that those doubtful thoughts were unfair, because it's like, oh, you just needed the right kind of support. You were just expecting yourself to figure it out alone, and that wasn't realistic. You were expecting yourself to push through alone, and that wasn't realistic. You just needed a helping hand, and now look at you go. So this period might be mentally a bit difficult because we're grappling with self-doubt, but I think you're coming out of it much more embracing of help that you can receive and realizing that with so many of us, I feel, put this pressure that we have to like do it all on our own. We have to figure it all out on our own, and being like, that's not even realistic. And it's actually a lot more fulfilling when I have my team with me and when I welcome help into my life. And I know that I can help others too. So if you're already in a team, like I said, I feel like this represents you succeeding together. But if you are working towards your goals alone right now, I do see people coming in to support you and aiding in your success. And also, this is so beautiful because this shows that you can combat your thoughts of self-doubt with action. You don't have to think them away. So if you start to feel doubtful that you can do it, you don't have to think your way out of it and be like, no, doubtful thoughts, you're wrong, I can do it. You can actually concretely take action in the world that makes those doubts shut up and makes those doubts go away. It's like, oh yeah, doubtful mind, if I couldn't do it, then how do you explain this? If I'm so doomed to fail, then why are all these people here supporting me? If I'm so doomed to fail, then what is this progress? What are these results? Explain that. You're gonna be able to thwart these thoughts with actual tangible things, which I just think is so powerful. Because so often the doubtful mind's only ammo is like, where's the proof? And it's like, here's the proof, bitch, like go away. So you're gonna have tangible proof and tangible support around you to silence this doubtful mind. And that's gonna be coming in roughly around September, okay? But don't get too tied to the exact time frames. But this is when things are gonna start looking up for you. I think you're also going to be reframing your belief in yourself. Believing in myself so radically, that's not delusional, that's actually very realistic. Believing in the universe providing for you, believing in people wanting to support you, that's going to start to feel like something that is a given, and that it's so logical that you would believe that way, rather than like, I'm going to go out on a limb and be delusional and believe that the universe is working in my favor. Because it's like, I have proof now. It's the most realistic thing for me to believe. So you have collaborators, you have a team helping you reach your goals. We're making progress. The doubtful thoughts have been thwarted. They are no longer welcome here. And honestly, now, even if they tried to make you question yourself, they're just gonna come off silly. They're just gonna come off like a clown, because they are a clown. We're making progress. Okay, this is crazy. This is the Empress, but I thought it was the Emperor, and I read it as the Emperor. I think it's something about the throne she's sitting on, the way it's kind of angular and it has antlers. Something about it looked emperor-y to me. They are kind of two sides of the same coin. One represents the divine feminine energy and one represents the divine masculine energy. I think it's very interesting that I kind of mixed them up and saw them as the same energy. That could be a sign of an integration happening within you, or the merging of a divine feminine energy with a divine masculine energy. I think when I interpret this card, I'm going to include the energies of both the Emperor and the Empress. I think that's going to be the most accurate for you. But this represents a major victory for you. This is our first major arcana of your reading. So this is a very big milestone, and I think this indicates the moment that you step into that position you always knew you were meant to fill. You step into your highest potential. This is the moment where you are gaining that respect and gaining that recognition and enjoying a good reputation, where you're either rising up to a leader position or you are rising up to the top in whatever you are doing. This could be happening in the final months of 2025 or the early months of 2026. But this is like a huge deal. I think this actually represents the moment where you do successfully move to that parallel timeline and you embody the version of you that you've been wanting to embody. And I think it's important that you give yourself a lot of credit, because yes, I do see you have collaborators. I do see you have the support from people around you, but you did a lot of this yourself and you worked really freaking hard. So don't let anybody take that away from you. With the Emperor energy coming through in this card, I do feel honor and respect. I feel your life becoming a lot more stable. I feel you being able to call the shots in your life. So I think I already said this at some point in your reading, but your words carrying more weight, your opinion being given more importance, the direction you think we should take things, that is being given more importance. And with the Empress energy of this card, I do see abundance and prosperity finding you. This is the moment where you're really going to start seeing your hard work pay off, and you're going to welcome, I'm hearing, this lavish abundance into your life. For those of you who have been quite frugal and budgeting very strictly, or you've had to make compromises, like for example, I can't buy both of these this month. I have to treat myself to either this or that. You're not going to have to do that anymore. Some of you may stop budgeting altogether because you just don't need to, or you can have a bit more leeway in your budget and you can treat yourself more often. Okay, that's last months of 2025 or first months of 2026. Beautiful energy. What? Ooh. We have the Magician. Oh my gosh. You're gonna be feeling like you can do anything, like you can manifest anything, because you can. I feel like in the year of 2026, you're probably going to give rise to a new goal. So a goal that is not on your radar yet, something that you're not actively working on yet. If anything, maybe it's something that you've kind of thought about in passing, something that you've been kind of exposed to, but it doesn't seem like a goal that you've given serious thought yet. It may be an interest that you didn't even know you had, a venture that you didn't even know you would be going on. In the start of 2026, I feel like this new goal is going to find you, and this new goal is going to manifest a lot faster than this previous one, the one that you're currently working on. I'm hearing it's going to take a fraction of the time. So the path that you're currently on, this current version of you that you've been manifesting, if, for example, it took you 5 years to get here, this new goal that's coming up is going to take like 1 year. Just an example, right? It's a fraction of the time because you are so much more impermeable to the intrusive thoughts of self-doubt. And you also recognize that not only you don't have to do it alone, but the universe wants to help you. People want to help you, and you're not shy to ask for that help. And you know that receiving that assistance doesn't take away from the amazingness of what you're doing on your own. So, and it could even be multiple things. Like, I think in the year 2026, you're going to be in a very ambitious energy, because when you believe that anything is possible, it's like you're going to entertain possible ventures that you never entertained before. Some of you are going to be working on a goal that if the current you heard it, you would shut it down immediately. Like, there's no way I'm going to do that. There's no way I could do that. You wouldn't even entertain it. But this new you who truly believes that anything is possible for you is like, yeah, I could do that. That's the best feeling sometimes when like I go back to my old journals and there will be this goal I wrote down. And at the time I thought I was being so silly. And when I look at it now, I'm like, that's just a Tuesday for me now. That's kind of the vibe with this Magician card. Like, and that's not to downplay what you're accomplishing here with your current goal. Just that in the future, it's going to become so commonplace that you wouldn't even think about it. Okay, for some reason, this is the example that's coming through. It's like if you're studying a language and you had this goal, one day I'm going to be able to have a conversation in this language. One day I'm going to be able to watch a movie in this language without subtitles. And when you're saying it in the moment, you're like, as if that's ever going to happen. Fast forward a few years later, and you're doing that multiple times a day. It's like just part of your daily life. Of course, I'm having a million conversations with people in this language. Of course, I'm watching movies all the time. It becomes so part of your everyday life to think like you're going to look back on this time when you're manifesting your current goal and be like, I can't believe I thought that was so out of reach. I can't believe I thought that was so unrealistic. Like, that's silly. Of course I could do it. I could do anything. I'm the magician. Okay, the year of 2026, it's going to see you really believing in the magician that you are. And you're going to start pursuing goals that the current you wouldn't even think about because they just wouldn't believe it. New goals coming in. Okay, so we've kind of gotten over the obstacles. We went through some retrogrades from February 2026 all the way into 2028. Saturn's just going to be chilling in the sign of Aries. So let's see what's going on then for those 2-ish years. We have strength. And we have the King of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. This whole transit in general, I think, is here to motivate you and remind you what you're really capable of. With this Ace of Wands at the bottom. This Strength card is so cute. It looks like someone with their little pet, with their little companion animal, with their little one. And it just looks so peaceful. It looks like a fairy tale. Some of you could be welcoming a little one into your life at some point. in that period. It's kind of a long period, 2026 to 2028. You could be welcoming a little one into your life. Doesn't have to be a human. It could be a companion animal if that is more your vibe. It could, of course, be both. It could also be someone close to you who's welcoming a little one, like your sibling or your best friend, or maybe your parents. I don't know. Maybe you're having a new sibling. I also often get the feeling with strength of soul family. That's just my personal interpretation. Like finding the souls that your soul is best friends with. So I do think in these years, you're going to see really, really close soul family members coming in, or start to feel a lot more certainty about who in your life is a soul family member and feeling fiercely loyal to them. Maybe this is kind of a dramatic thing to say, but I just heard, I will never feel alone again. I think in these years, you're feeling so supportive, and it's becoming really, I think I said supportive. Well, you are feeling supportive, but you're feeling supported also. But it's becoming just so much easier for you to ask for help and to receive and to welcome that into your life. You're feeling very supported in your community, really integrated into your community, rather than feeling like you're just standing on the sidelines of this community that you want to be in. Like, I'm standing on the sidelines and I pop in sometimes, I contribute sometimes. You're feeling very integrated in it. You're feeling like a crucial part of the community because you are. You have some role that is central to this community. And I also heard everybody needs that. I feel you in this energy of being so grateful for the community that you've built and kind of wishing that everybody could have this. You may be leaving the door open. This community welcomes you in, and then you leave the door open for others who want to join it. I'm hearing like-minded people. I'm hearing we're all friends here. There's no gatekeeping. Some of you could be entering into a space that was once heavily gate-kept and opening the door for more people to join and creating more of a sense of companionship and friendship and teamwork within that community, rather than like animosity and competition, because that's all based in separation. Creating more of a teamwork and friendship sort of vibe within it. Strength is also making me think of inner child energy. For some of you, this being that you're holding could be your inner child. I remember a friend of mine, actually someone who I do consider my soul family, was saying like they want their collaborations to just feel like, kids playing together. There's no heavy expectation. It's like we're just trying things out. We're just seeing what happens. So I do feel like you've gone through a process of kind of proving yourself in your field, like proving your capabilities, proving your value. And in 2026 onwards, I see you kind of graduating from that, and your priorities have shifted now to, I want to lift others up. And I just want to enjoy the element of community in this space. And I want to just have fun. And you kind of can do that now. Not that you ever had to prove yourself as a prerequisite to having fun, but I do think that in some way reaching this Emperor Empress status was important to you. And you've done that for yourself and you've proven yourself. And now you can ease up a little bit more and have fun with the things that you're doing. We have the King of Swords, which this could be indicating you. I heard counseling. People might come to you for counseling, or like you could be a teacher of some kind. there's, how do I describe this energy? You're not so actively in the fire anymore. You're kind of out of it and you're in a place of more ease, and you can give guidance to the people who are still in the fire. I'm thinking of someone who was a model. Of course, apply this to your situation. And it was very, like, the toll that it put on their body, like the standards, and maybe having to travel a lot and not getting a lot of sleep to go to all these bookings, to do all these runways and stuff. It took a lot of toll on them, and like mentally comparing yourself to other people is just a lot. And they're still in that space and have so much love for that space, but maybe they're not really in the thick of it anymore. Maybe they're not doing, like, they've proven to themselves that they can do those big runway shows and they can be on the cover of that big magazine. Like, they've proven that they can be the top model. Now they can kind of relax, and maybe now they're more of like an older sibling or a mentor for the people who are now in the thick of that modeling life. So it's like you're still an integral part of the community, but in some way you've become a senpai, you've become a counselor, you've become a guide, you've become a teacher. And this could be an official role for some of you. That could literally be your title. Like, I'm a blank counselor, I'm a blank advisor. You really take on that official role of a mentor. For others of you, it could be more of an unofficial thing, but I see the King of Swords as someone who has accumulated a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, who is articulate, who is professional, who could really help people out who are on a similar journey. And I see you as someone who has the ability as well to give unbiased advice. So you're not going to give people advice just based on your own experience. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that because I did it and I didn't like it. It's, you actually think objectively about each person's experience, which is really nice. The King of Swords has the ability to do that. And I do often see the King of Swords as a leader who is very well liked. Again, that's just my personal way of seeing him. So definitely a few indicators of you being in this kind of leader role, in this kind of mentor role, very involved in your community, very involved in opening doors for people, involved in making it less hard for those who come after you. I don't see you as the type of person who's like, well, I had to struggle to get to the top, so it's not fair if the people after me don't have to struggle. It's like, let me use what I learned from these struggles to make it easier for the people who come after, which is beautiful. So with your Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck, I really do think the next 3-ish years while Saturn is in Aries are going to be, I heard activating, okay? Very activating for you, very motivating, very inspiring. I was talking in the intro about this transit lighting a fire under us, and I think you are really going to feel that. It's definitely going to spark your passion, and any frustrations you come up against during this period, it's just because of how much you care and how passionate you are, and it's a good thing. So I'm very excited for you. You're going to impress all of us, group number 1. I'm very excited for you. So this is everything I'm seeing for you. I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and a wonderful Saturn in Aries period, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to link my tarot readings on Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where we have extended readings and exclusive full-length readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here. I don't know why this outro is so hard for me to say today. And I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self. anyone who appeared in this reading and their higher selves, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Thulite, this is going to be your reading all about the period that Saturn is in the sign of Aries and how that is going to be affecting you. There is an intuitive message that is coming through for this group. Because the period of this transit is a few years, there's a feeling of having to replace something, or maybe not having to, choosing to replace something that usually you only replace every several years. I'm thinking of things like getting a new computer. That's a big commitment. That's a big shift. Or like getting a new car. Probably some kind of machine. Maybe it's an appliance, like a washing machine that you've had for 10 years and it's finally time to replace it. Something like that. There could also be updates or upgrades happening to any software that you use or any platform that you use on a regular basis. There could be upgrades happening to it so that it's much faster and much easier to use. And this helps you make a lot of progress. I'm also hearing debugging. So for example, let's say at work, there's a certain like app or website or database that you have to use as like, it's the industry standard, but it's always glitching in this certain way. There could be some renovations going on that those glitches are not happening anymore, and the interface is like a lot more intuitive and easy to use, and there's certain features, new features now that weren't there before, and it just makes things easier and better. There's some kind of energy like that. Anyway, I wanted to start off this reading with a little bit of an energy check, just to see where you're at going into this transit. If you happen to be watching this a while after Saturn has already been in Aries for some time, then you can consider this a check of your current energy at the time that you're watching. But if this does resonate with your current situation, then that will be your sign that you found your group. And I want to use some dice for this part as well. So let's see what's going on for my group number twos. We have Jupiter. We have 10, which represents the 10th house. And we have the number 9. Okay, so there is the potential for expanding your career by furthering your education or traveling to another place. Or you could be growing on an international level. So a few examples of this, I'm imagining a company growing their overseas clients. You could be going on a lot of business trips, but I think that these are going to be fun for you. So if the idea of going on a business trip or like traveling for work sounds dreadful to you, I assure you that it's going to be something enjoyable. This could be the energy of, I'm thinking of like someone gaining an overseas audience, someone gaining customers or fans overseas, becoming popular overseas. I'm thinking of someone studying abroad, someone getting a job opportunity in another city or another country. I'm thinking of someone touring. It's like you will be blessed in your career if you are open to traveling to other places or engaging with international audiences. I'm hearing global superstar, which that's a very dramatic thing to say. Maybe that's you as an individual or you in a group or like your company is rising to global recognition, but your energy is very much giving Mr. Worldwide, group number 2. I do see you traveling significantly more than usual in the next 3 years. 4 things that will improve your career or give you inspiration, or things that will increase your bank account. Okay, that's the vibe. Some of you are getting a new certification, a new license, a new degree. that will allow you to take higher positions or will allow you to charge more. I think you're also just electing to educate yourself further. Even if it's not like you're getting an official certificate, you just want to have that knowledge under your belt, expanding your knowledge in your field. Wow, that's an awesome energy to start off with. So let's look at your oracle cards for your current energy. We have protection with the number 24. We have spiritual sovereignty, Essasani. I'm assuming that's a type of ET because these are like extraterrestrial cards. And this represents a parallel timeline. We have the number 103. October 3rd or March 10th could be a significant date for you. I am centered, peaceful, patient, and calm. And making space. It's like creating a space. And this is making me think of when you make a flower arrangement, it's not just about filling it with as much flowers as possible. There's also beauty in the empty space. That's the vibe that I feel with this card. When you're making a song, it's not just about the notes. There's also beauty in the rests. There's also beauty in the pauses. So maybe there's something about you creating a really nice balance in your life of eventful periods and more restful periods. And realizing that your life is more beautiful when you're not on all the time, when you're not working all the time, when you're not creating all the time, when you're not outputting all the time. I think you're really finding beauty in those moments of stillness. You could be becoming a bit more minimalist in some way in your fashion, in your material possessions, in your home decor, in your approach to work. I see you in this more simple is best, less is more kind of energy, just embracing that. And I don't mean this in the sense of reducing things just for the sake of reducing them, but rather kind of unsubscribing from the idea of like the more the better. It's giving less is more. It's giving quality over quantity. This is the vibe. For some reason, I'm thinking about this musician that I follow. This was a long time ago, but for some reason, the memory just popped up in my head. They did a Q&A on their Instagram stories, and someone asked them, how do you deal with like having to interact with people you don't like? So probably this person was talking about, I don't know, some annoying coworkers or maybe family members, or, you know, how do you deal with these people on a day-to-day basis? And their response was like, at this point, I've sort of built my life in such a way that I don't have to deal with people I don't like. And I was like, that's such a power move. And somehow I thought of that with your energy. Okay? Please feel free to claim that message. At this point in your life, you have it made so that you don't have to deal with people you don't like, or people who get under your skin, or just people you don't vibe with. And there's a freedom in that. When I saw protection and spiritual sovereignty, I was like, oh, your energy is sacred and you are treating it as such. You are going through some really nice spiritual hygiene routine. You're probably already doing this, but the bad vibes are going to be so far away from you during this transit. I just feel protection of your energy and peace, and making your money in peace. That's the vibe with all of these cards. I am centered, peaceful, patient, and calm. You could be incorporating more self-care routines, or I really think it's just more moments of rest, more moments of silence, more moments of nothingness. This also gives the energy of someone who intentionally adds rest or doing nothing into their schedule. because nothing is also something. It's also necessary. Okay, so if this resonates with you, then congratulations, you found your group. We're gonna get into the tarot now and sort of go through a timeline of this transit. With the numbers 24 and 29 here, someone could be, like those could be ages. Someone could be in their mid to late 20s. Or the year, like from 2024 through to 2029. Maybe someone has a 5-year plan. The letter S could be significant, spiritual sovereignty. There's a lot of S's in this word, and this kind of starts with S. It starts with S, so. Oh, and Su also means nest in Japanese. Maybe some of you are like moving homes or renovating your home. There's a feeling of settling down, having an established home base that you can always come back to after your travels and adventures. A peaceful place. What is going on for my group number 2s? While Saturn is in the sign of Aries. I said October 3rd and March 10th. I'm noticing this could also be January 3rd, could also be March 1st. Oh my goodness, we have the star. Beautiful, beautiful. We have justice. We have the Fool. Holy major arcana. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups. Two coming out at the same time, which is the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. I'm gonna take those as one energy. And the Moon. We're also gonna take the bottom of the deck energy, which is the Seven of Cups. Wow. I heard the word unsubscribing again. I'm hearing unsubscribing from society, which I don't think means you're closing off. I think you're just unsubscribing from what society says you're supposed to care about and supposed to strive for and supposed to do. You're like, I literally don't care. Wow, okay. There's a lot of major arcana going on, and our first 3 cards are all major arcana, and they're all in air signs as well. Things are accelerating and the energy is getting lighter. I feel like from now, whenever you're watching this, until basically the rest of 2025, I think is going to be a really significant time for you with a lot of big changes or big revelations. This Seven of Cups feels a bit unique to me. There is, in pretty much all Seven of Cups cards, this idea of being overwhelmed by all of these cups placed before you, and you don't know which one to choose because they all look really shiny and nice, but not all that glitters is gold. And it's like, what do I do? This skeleton feels like they don't want any of it. They're like, I don't want any of it. I'm unsubscribing. There's that word again. Maybe you're doing like a mass unfollowing of a lot of people, or like deleting a lot of contacts. But I'm just thinking of, you know, we live in a society, and I'm thinking of a human in society going about their life, and it's like, hey, here's this thing that you should want to buy. Here's this new trend that you should want to hop on. Here's this thing that you should be mad about. Here's this thing that you should care about. This celebrity did this. Oh my God. Like, you know, we're bombarded by all of these stuff, being suggested things that we should care about and things that we should pay attention to and things that we should want. And I feel like you're just so sick of it. And this skeleton looks like they're shutting out all of that outside noise. And I feel like that meaning of not all that glitters is gold is really strong here. But this is kind of you saying none of it is gold. I'm not buying what you're selling to me, society. That's your energetic sovereignty, spiritual sovereignty. I think your life is becoming a lot more quiet and a lot more peaceful. Your offline life, I want to say, is going to be very full. This is your period of touching grass. And I don't mean that in like a go touch some grass way. I mean like you're quite literally just with nature, with your loved ones. And you're not getting distracted by all of the noise. That's what I feel like this transit is for you. So let's get into your timeline. So at the beginning of this transit, we have the star. So when Saturn initially enters Aries from the end of May 2025 to July-ish, there is some big wish of yours that is coming true. And that is going to give you a lot of hope for the future. The future is looking very promising. I also feel an energy of vulnerability with this card. So maybe this is a wish that you didn't tell a lot of people about, or only those very close to you know about. And it does feel like something personal. Even if it's like a professional wish, it feels like the reason you want it so badly is for emotional reasons. For reasons close to your heart. So a big wish like this is coming true. And I want to say it was meant to happen. Yes, you manifested it with your free will. But I also really feel like fate was on your side in this, and karma was on your side. This wish probably, I think you know why it means so much to you. I don't have to tell you that. But I think that one of the reasons it's so embedded so deeply in your heart is because it goes beyond just this one lifetime. This is a dream or a longing, a love that has been alive for many lifetimes. And for it to be coming to fruition, it feels like a completion. It feels like the finishing of business. It's like the prophecy has been fulfilled. This is maybe a wish that you have been manifesting over several lifetimes. And it was, I want to say it was owed to you, but by that I just mean it was bound to happen. It's just the natural justice. It's like the natural order of things, the natural cause and effect. It was time for you to receive this wish. And it's going to feel really good to receive it, but it's also going to feel really good to admit how much you wanted it and to admit how much you missed it. Because sometimes I think we feel like we need to pretend we don't care, or we try to pretend we don't care so we don't have to feel the emotion so intensely. But now that it's here, it allows you to be more honest with yourself. Maybe it was a tough journey. Maybe the emotions were quite intense. This is a big deal, this wish being fulfilled. For some of you with justice here, it could have to do with a partnership, a contract, something becoming official, some energy being reciprocated to you. If I take it a bit literally, it could be a legal something working out in your favor. But it feels like when this comes in, everything is where it should be. It feels like everything is as it should be. It feels like your life is in balance. I just heard like you're not obsessively thinking about something anymore. So this is just one example. Please apply it to your situation. But if someone didn't have money and they were wishing for money, they might think about money obsessively. Like, where is this money going to come from? How am I going to bring it in? Then when you have it, you could stop thinking about it obsessively. I mean, some people get it and still think about it obsessively, but I feel like in your case, once you receive it, you don't have to think about it so much anymore or obsess about it so much anymore. And then you have so much space in your mind to think about other things because the balance has been restored and everything is as it should be. And maybe that's what this Fool card represents, like a clearing of your mind. Now that this manifestation is here, you can be in a much more carefree energy. And like I said, it feels like a completion. So you can start a new era of your life now. You can start a new chapter where you're not thinking about that all the time. I feel like I use this example a lot because this was like a really big thing for me, manifesting the visa that I currently have. But before that happened, like I thought about it a lot because like, of course you do. You kind of think about it on a daily basis. Like, what's it going to be? When's it going to happen? Where's it going to come from? Now that I have it, I don't obsessively think about it because I have it, because it's secure. And it's like, I'm grateful for it. I guess I do think about it, but not in a holding on tightly way. Just in like a, it's here, yay. And then I move on with my life. So it's like a big wish coming in that is freeing a lot of your mental space. And you can kind of get back to yourself again and just focus on other things and focus on what's next. So I feel like by the time September rolls around, and don't get too attached to the timelines, it's kind of rough. Once September rolls around, you're going to be in a much more carefree place. The energy is going to feel very light for you. Everything's going to feel as it should be. I am curious about this Knight of Cups because this Knight of Cups looks like he's proposing. So, I mean, take it if it resonates. But for some of you, within this year, you could be getting proposed to, or you could be proposing to someone. Okay, and maybe it's not literally marriage, but maybe someone's proposing you be in a relationship with them. This is like a love offering. So someone could be asking you to be their significant other, asking you to marry them, could be. Maybe that's for those of you who are already in a relationship. Or you are receiving a very exciting invitation. Maybe someone's inviting you to an event that you really, really want to go to, or inviting you on a trip. Yeah, that's what I feel with this Knight of Cups. And I'm seeing this as someone else coming towards you and you as the Fool, which when you come through as a Fool, you're in a sort of unsuspecting energy. Things are happening unsuspectedly. So, someone could be throwing you a surprise party. That's also another way that I could interpret this, because that's also an offering of love when you arrange something like that for someone. But yeah, someone who really cares about you is surprising you with something by the end of this year. Some kind of offering, some kind of proposal, or a big gesture to show their love. It could be a really, really big gift that someone is giving you, a really big invitation somewhere, and I don't think you see this coming. It's going to be a surprise. Also, if I take this literally, some of you could be getting to, just when I see beach, I think of vacation. You could be getting to go on vacation by the end of this year and just really have some much needed time for rest and relaxation and rejuvenation. I'm hearing all inclusive or like all expenses paid. There's something like that. Some of you are going to go on a vacation that you don't have to pay for, or that it's all inclusive in some way. It does feel a bit luxurious, or I could say a bit more luxurious than what you usually do. And for some of you, this could be because you're celebrating something. But for others of you, it could be no particular special occasion. I'm the special occasion. Me deserving rest and me deserving to have a good time is the special occasion. But yeah, I recognize this is not going to be for everyone, so take it if it resonates, but there is a feeling of like engagement, marriage, honeymoony type of vibes. Some of you could be married, but you haven't had a chance to do your honeymoon yet, or you haven't had the chance to do a lot of the fun things you wanted to do with your spouse, with your partner. Maybe you've been in a relationship with someone for years and you've always talked about going on this vacation together, but you've just been so busy. You've been working so much and it's like, we had all these fun plans and like, we've just never gotten around to doing the fun plans. That's what I feel this is. Getting around to doing fun stuff with someone you really love, someone you really care about. And that just ties in so beautifully to the message of life becoming more carefree, life becoming more fun. Okay, next we have this Seven of Pentacles energy and this Queen of Wands energy. Somehow when I saw these cards, I saw it as you having wealth and being very generous with it and being very humble about it. It's like you're proud of your accomplishments, but not in a cocky way. I guess I could say it that way. You're definitely going to be in an energy of enjoying the fruits of your labor. And I honestly think people around you are manifesting abundance too. So it's like you and your team, you and your loved ones, you and your family, you and your friend group. I feel like you're all kind of leveling up together. And I would say that your loved ones surrounding you are in this kind of same energy as you, being very protective of their energy, having good boundaries. You're all kind of on the same vibe and moving up together. And there's just this beautiful energy of getting to have fun experiences together and getting to treat each other or getting to spoil each other. So, you know, maybe in one occasion, someone gives you a really big, meaningful gift. And then on the next occasion, you give them a really big, meaningful gift. And being able to do that feels really good. Being able to enjoy the good life together feels really good. And just being able to have this energetic exchange, I think is really nice. There's this feeling coming back again of getting around to these leisurely things you've wanted to do with your loved ones, but you never could because life was always just asking so much of you. Your energy was being pulled this way, your energy was being pulled that way. You had to do this task and go to work and assume these responsibilities. And I think life is quieting down now that you can finally, let's finally go on that trip that we talked about. Let's finally go have this experience that we talked about. Let's finally go shopping together. We've been wanting to do this forever. Finally getting a chance to make those memories because life has slowed down a little bit and you're not so anxious to fill the space. You just let the space be. You let the stillness be. And from then arises inspirations of fun things that you want to do. Yeah, maybe some of you in the past were anxious, like when an empty day came up in your schedule. It's like, oh, what could I fill this with? What could I do in this day that's going to be productive, that's going to get me ahead? Can I catch up? Can I catch up on missed work? Can I get a head start for next week's work? It's like your immediate thought was to fill up that day, and I think you're not doing that anymore. And you're just letting it be empty. And from that emptiness arises like, I think I feel like going to the park today. I think I feel like checking out that new cafe today. I think I feel like calling up my bestie and seeing if she wants to go get her nails done with me. I feel like just walking around the mall. I feel like treating myself to bubble tea. It's like whatever, whatever you feel like doing, letting those little inspirations arise from the stillness, arise from the nothingness in your schedule. And I think you're going to realize that you having less stress in your life does not affect your abundance. Maybe there was some part of your brain that said, like, if I slow down, I'm not going to be as productive. I'm not going to make as much money. And it's just not true. You can enjoy your life and keep working hard and keep generating your wealth. I think in general, there's also a change in your philosophy of feeling that life is not a race to the finish line. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It is to be enjoyed. The time is to be taken. Yeah, I feel like with this Seven of Pentacles, this is a conscious choice that you're making to live more slowly and really take your time. And that's also you unsubscribing from society, by the way, because I feel like society wants everything to be done faster and faster and faster. And we have to reach milestones sooner and sooner and sooner. And you're really not buying into that. And there's something that feels very luxurious about you taking your time. This Queen of Wands is coming through with quite a generous spirit, sharing her wealth with her loved ones. I say her just because it's a queen. Obviously, you don't have to be a woman, but sharing your wealth with your loved ones. And I think this is you equally sharing your material wealth, but also sharing your abundant mindset. You're in a beautiful mindset during this transit, and I do feel like that is spreading to your loved ones and spreading to your community. I kind of hear it's like you're putting them on to your mindset so that they can manifest too, and so that they can enjoy their life too, and they can be fulfilled too. And what was the other thing I said? Generous and humble. So it's like if you made money and then you're like decked out in really fancy clothes and accessories, it's like you're proud of yourself, but it's not like you think you're better than other people who don't have those things. And it's like you'll also freely give them to your loved ones. It's like, here, have this abundance with me. It feels really, really nice. And you're not in competition with anybody because you unsubscribed from that. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I also do feel Queen of Wands, I often feel her as a hot person. So you could be feeling very confident in your appearance. I don't necessarily think you're changing anything drastically about your appearance. I think it's the same you. You're just more confident in yourself now. But yeah, I could see this energy continuing on into 2026. So honestly, I'm not seeing a whole lot of challenges for you. Even through like the retrogrades, and even though I was talking about this in the intro, even though in theory, Saturn doesn't like to be in Aries and it's like a challenging placement, I'm honestly not seeing a lot of challenges for you. I think you've kind of been through the challenging part of letting all the outside noise get to your head and giving away your energy. You're not having it anymore, group number 2. Like, Saturn, do whatever you want, but like, I'm good. You're not gonna fuck with me. I think that's your vibe, because it's just like, it's wishes coming true. And honestly, Saturn can talk about karma, and somehow, this is just me being intuitive. I'm not being like astrology expert right now. Somehow I wonder if Saturn going retrograde is like returning some good karma to you that was owed to you. I don't know. Blessings coming from what you accumulated in your past life. So anyway, after all of that, Saturn enters Aries for good on February 14th, 2026 on Valentine's Day, and then it's going to stay there for 2 years. I don't know what this skeleton is holding in their hand, but for some reason, when I look at it, it looks like they're toasting to the moon, which is such a beautiful concept. Like, cheers, moon. You're looking beautiful this evening. I'm noticing these moons are kind of the same phase. A waning crescent moon could be a significant symbol for someone. It was a waxing crescent when I was born. Not that you asked, but that could be a significant moon phase. And just how big the moon is, it feels like a deep respect for nature and a deep respect for the divine and for the cosmic forces that are bigger than you, that you can sometimes forget about when you get so entrenched in the noise of human society and all the made-up things that we care about. You're coming back to earth and you're coming back to your divinity. Saturn in Aries for you might represent you getting to set the definition of something. Because I think Saturn likes things to be in boxes, likes things to be defined, and Aries is the self. So like you get to decide where the boundaries are. You get to decide what your personal boundaries are. You get to define abundance, success, happiness for yourself. You get to define what's important to you. I think Saturn in Aries for you represents like taking the power back. Like, I say what the rules are for my life. I say what the boundaries are for my life. It's not society imposing it on me, it's me. And I can choose to not impose anything too. And I can change my mind too. The authority to set those lines and to set those boundaries in my life falls in me. I feel like that's how this Saturn in Aries energy is working for you. And I don't know what, something about toasting to the moon, cheersing the moon, and just like, it feels like a form of respect to it, being in awe of its beauty, of its wisdom. It feels deeply spiritual. It's like I recognize that I'm just this little drop in the cosmic ocean, and I'm so honored to be here. I think your connection to nature is really deepening, and you're seeing the divinity in nature. You're returning home to your spirituality, to yourself. There could be a spiritual journey that you are resuming. And I don't really know how to go deeper with that. Maybe that means something very personal to you, but a spiritual journey that you had put off to the side, you're coming back to it. You're seeing it in a new way. But yeah, I think those are all the messages for my group number 2s. I have to say, I really liked this energy. So thank you very much for letting me sit with your energy, and thank you for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and a wonderful Saturn in Aries period. I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch extended readings and exclusive full-length pick a card readings that only go up over there. and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number threes, so if you guys chose the Amethyst, this is going to be a reading all about the period where Saturn is in Aries and how it's going to be affecting you. Can I just say, I am quite surprised and honestly impressed that this candle is still going, because even when I started this whole reading, there wasn't that much wax left, and I thought that it was gonna go out like in group 1 and then it didn't, and then I was sure it was gonna go out in group 2 and it didn't, and here she is still going strong. I do have another candle on standby in case we have to replace her, but I'm very impressed, and I wonder if that's a message for some of you who chose this group. We're coming out of Saturn in Pisces. It was in Pisces since like the start of 2023. So for some of you, maybe that period from the start of 2023 until now was quite tough. Like you went through it, and maybe some of you are feeling like, wow, I'm surprised that I'm still going. I'm still going strong. I made it. Another message coming through for some of you is that after all this time, there is a flame in you that won't go out. Maybe it's a longing, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a love. After all this time, it will not go out. And after all this time, it's a guiding light for you. I also saw a visual of a squirrel stuffing food in its cheeks. So some of you could be creating a stash of something, or you're saving up resources or saving up energy. You could be stockpiling something during this time as well, like saving up a bunch of ideas or accumulating a bunch of drafts. Maybe you're buying things in bulk. And for some of you, there is an energy of saving up for a rainy day, but others of you might be kind of hoarding things. I'm imagining someone who has like 100 unreleased drafts, and it's like, hey, how about we publish some of these? Okay, that's just for some of you, but I thought I would mention it. Anyway, we're gonna start off this reading with a bit of an energy check. The way it's been going so far is that in the energy check, we get a brief summary of what this transit will be like for you, and we also take a look at your current energy. So if this resonates with you, then that will be your sign that you found your group. So let's get into it. We're gonna roll some dice. We have the sign of Aries, very fitting because Saturn is in Aries. We have the South Node. And we have the 12th house. Okay, I feel like this is what Saturn in Aries is going to represent for you, group number 3. We talked about this a bit in the intro, but Saturn likes to be structured, disciplined, patient, hardworking. And I feel like you have all of these qualities, but I feel like this transit is about giving those qualities to yourself. Being disciplined when it comes to yourself, being patient when it comes to yourself. What if you gave yourself that same effort and that same patience that you give to other things or that you give to other people? What if you invested in yourself with that same commitment and that same dedication? So this transit is about you investing in yourself. And I think your big focus is going to be on self-improvement. And when I say improvement, you get to decide what that means. You get to decide what your standard is of being better, the version of you that you want to move towards. With the South Node here, it's very interesting that I got that message about like stockpiling ideas or stockpiling drafts, because South Node does feel like revisiting something. And I feel that maybe you have left something on the back burner, something that you were, I was gonna say something you were doing for yourself, and then I heard that's probably why it's on the back burner. It feels like a passion project or a skill that you were learning, something you were studying, something you were pursuing just for yourself. Your motivations were self-centered, and that's not a bad thing. It's not like you were thinking, oh, I want to do this because it's going to benefit that person or it's going to serve these people. It was just like, I think I want to do this. And so when other things came up and you had to take care of this person and that person, and you had to give your energy to this person and that person, this more self-centered thing went on the back burner. And I think Saturn in Aries is about you revisiting it. And that's not to say it won't benefit other people, just that was not necessarily your reason for starting it. It was like your own curiosity, your own enjoyment, your own fulfillment. And those types of things are going to be coming back to the forefront during this transit. Those types of things are going to be made a priority. Or if you do make those things a priority, you will be rewarded for that. I want to actually roll another one just to clarify this 12th house energy. Although I do I think it has to do with some things that want to see the light of day. Okay, some of your ideas want to see the light of day. They want to be put out. They want to be shared. We have the sign of Virgo. Okay, you've been hiding some things away because of perfectionism or being overly critical of it. And this is just one example that came to my mind. And I think it's this example because it's just so simple and easy to understand. It's like if you had taken a beautiful selfie, and you're not posting it because you have a singular blackhead or, it's something like that. And it's like, oh my God, just post it. Like, no one's gonna notice. And even if they did notice, they're not gonna care. And honestly, if they did care, that would be very weird of them. So it's like there's some minute thing that is stopping you from sharing so much goodness. That's what I feel like. Okay, let's get into your oracle cards. The masculine, lunar god with the number 42. Way showing, serious, future. Ooh, you're the only one who's gotten future, because group 1 and 2 got parallel timelines. You got a future timeline. Way showing. Your future self is showing you the way, maybe? Or someone in a future timeline, a significant person in a future timeline is showing you the way. I just noticed these two people holding hands in the background. I'm not sure why they're there. I almost didn't see them, but that could be significant for someone. I forgive myself and set myself free. And we have number 34, stillness is also a gift. Okay, I think that says stillness. I don't know, something like that. Yeah. Aw, that duck is very cute. It looks like a mallard duck. Actually, this looks like a male duck. So something about masculine energy is coming through. Maybe you are harnessing your masculine energy. It makes sense because this period, I think, is about your energy being expressed outwardly. This outward motion, something about it feels masculine, like you are thrusting yourself upon the world. Here I am. I'm so sorry. But You know what I mean? I feel like the feminine, the yin, it is more of like the inner world, and the masculine yang is more of the outer world. At least that's the duality that I'm feeling right now. And something about this 12th house, it feels like you're coming out of hiding, or you're letting your ideas be seen, or letting your thoughts be seen, or letting your work be seen, just letting yourself be seen. You're coming out, you're asserting yourself into the world. You're connecting with your own masculine energy, your own divine masculine energy. I think this makes sense because Aries is a masculine sign and Saturn is a masculine planet. I think you're going to be feeling that. We have the numbers 42, 95, 34, which could be significant, or the inverse, like 24, 59, 43. You are connecting to a future version of yourself as well. Actually, the only difference between the current you and the future you that you want to be is a burst of action. It's like doing the thing, it's starting. So we did a little astrology talk in the intro, and I was talking about how, like, technically textbook Saturn in Aries is like a difficult placement, but I was describing certain people who could benefit from it, or certain situations where it would be beneficial. And I do think you're one of those people whom it's going to benefit. It's gonna give you the boldness and the drive to just do it, to just start. That's what you're committing to. And it's not about the end result. It's about the fact that you're doing it. It's about the fact that you're showing up. That is what is going to make you feel like a success. I'm hearing it's a lot cooler. So maybe some of you were worried about being perceived as cringe or how you might look trying something new. It's a lot cooler to show up and make mistakes than to not show up at all. It's a lot cooler to show up with your imperfections than to completely hide yourself away. This is a kind of philosophy, I think, that is coming to you during this time. You could be sharing your journey in a way that is more raw, in a way that is more authentic. I'm being reminded of a good friend of mine who recently went to a dance class, and she like shared a video of herself dancing, and me watching it, I was like, holy shit, like she can dance. I was so impressed. And then I went and read the caption, and it was like, you know, this was hard for me to post because I'm not a professional dancer, and like I still have a long way to go. I didn't see it that way at all. Like, and I think we all kind of are hypercritical of our own self. And the reality of how we're being perceived is often much nicer. At least that's what I'm feeling for you. Like, I'm imagining you, for some reason, I'm imagining you with an instrument being like, now look, I've only been practicing for a few weeks. Don't judge me. I'm not that good. And then you sit down and play a freaking masterpiece. Like, there's some way you are not accurately seeing how talented you are, but I don't want to focus on that too much because I feel like it's not the point. The point is that even if you weren't good at that instrument, you still deserve to be playing it. You still deserve to show up, and you still deserve to feel that joy, and you deserve to share a moment with people as you're playing for them. It's about the showing up. It's about the doing it. That's what matters. If you were telling someone how you feel, I promise you, they don't care whether or not you worded everything perfectly. They care that you're showing your heart. It's okay to do things imperfectly. In fact, a lot of the time, showing your imperfections invites connection, and it feels more authentic. And I felt that way when I saw my friend's dancing video. I was like, wouldn't it be nice if we shared our progress more, and we shared the moments where we haven't achieved mastery yet, and we share the moments where things are tough and where we're stumbling, rather than just sharing a polished finished product, because I feel like we need more representation of all the levels, and that you deserve to be seen and you deserve to take up space in all the levels. Okay, this is the energy that I'm seeing shaping up for you during this transit. And I really feel like this I forgive myself and set myself free is really saying I release harsh judgments of myself. Okay, we're gonna get into the tarot and see a timeline for you. There's a lot of different iterations of this sentiment, but what I'm thinking right now is there's people who are way less qualified than you, but are way more successful because they never thought to doubt themselves. Timeline for my group number 3s. While Saturn is in the sign of Aries. I'm a bit late to mention this, but you could resonate with serious, like serious beings. Okay. I think there's Sirius A and Sirius B. I'm not too knowledgeable about it. Maybe there's more. We have Page of Swords. Ooh, okay, we're gonna talk about this. So Page of Swords is a new idea. We've been talking so much about you like trying to pursue a new idea or sharing an idea that you have maybe for the first time. And just this imagery of the Page of Swords throwing a paper airplane. We've been talking about you putting something out there into the world. And I feel like this is an amazing representation of that. And I'm also reminded of my partner who has his own company. And he said when they were building their business, it was like they just, and I've actually heard a couple business owners like echo this sentiment. My partner said something like, it was like we just made a paper plane and threw it and we were like, oh, it flew. Like we didn't know, we just kind of winged it and tried it and it ended up flying. And then another friend of mine said something like, you know, starting a business is like jumping off a cliff and building the parachute on your way down. It's like you have to embrace taking risks and just winging it. And I think you would be surprised how much of, like, we look at people and think, oh my gosh, they have it figured out, but really they're just winging it as they go. I'm thinking also of Benny Blanco right now, who is a very prolific record producer, like in Hollywood. And he was kind of all over my social media for a while, probably because he's like marrying Selena Gomez. Not to say that's why he's famous, but just that created a buzz, and then a bunch of Benny Blanco interviews started appearing on my feed. And he is behind so many of the songs that we listen to, that I listened to growing up. And when you hear the story of how he made them, it's so funny. Like maybe he's just really a humble guy, but he's like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't even know that you could change the BPM in the software. That's why all the songs I made were 120 BPM. And I just like played this on a piano, or I had 30 minutes to finish the track, so I just slapped this together. Like, you just hear him improvising and doing what he can with limited knowledge, but you would never think that when you listen to it. And I want you to trust in your ability to do that as well, to improvise and to figure it out, and to trust that you can make something amazing even if you don't feel what you're doing is perfect. And this is the first card in the timeline, so maybe you've already done this and this is your confirmation that it's going to go well. Or maybe this is the nudge from your spiritual team, like, hey, when are you gonna work on that idea? When are you gonna share that idea? I feel like now's the time to do it. At the beginning of this transit, Saturn is direct. What's gonna happen when Saturn goes retrograde? So Saturn enters Aries on May 24th, and then it's gonna go retrograde on July 13th, 2025. So let's see what's gonna happen during this retrograde period. If you're ever feeling stuck or feeling scared to keep going, it will be really beneficial to call in your higher self. I was gonna say future self, but higher self, future self, the version of you with a perspective that you don't currently have. Call them in and they'll give you the strength. This lunar god is also standing out to me because it's like right now in this current moment, it's a full moon, but the lunar god harnesses the power of all phases of the moon at the same time. You as a human are in a certain phase of the timeline, but your higher self has access to the whole timeline at the same time. Your higher self has access to the past, the present, the future, the parallel timelines. So if you're ever feeling stuck or lost or scared, you can call on your higher self for help and for insights. Anyway, what is going to happen when Saturn goes retrograde in Aries on July 13th, 2025? Of course, that exact date is not. That makes sense. So, okay, I'm not gonna lie, group 3, this is gonna be a little bit uncomfortable because this looks like when Saturn goes retrograde, it could cause some overthinking. This 9 of Swords, this particular illustration is really like the way my girl Beth drew this, it's all the swords are going into the skeleton's head. And so this drawing in particular really looks like the skeleton is being tormented by their own thoughts. So it looks like you put an idea out there and then maybe start overthinking that you shouldn't have. But you should have because you did and you were meant to. But retrogrades can kind of mess with us. They can have you second guessing things. It's kind of the energy of someone who sent a message to someone. Okay. Because I think you're not getting a response immediately. It's like if you sent a really heartfelt message to someone and they didn't respond, then you start thinking, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have sent that. And the thing with the 9 of Swords is that if there's any unknown, the 9 of Swords will fill that unknown with the worst case scenario. It just likes to do that. So you, in this example, right, you send out a message, the person doesn't respond. This 9 of Swords mind is going to start to go like, you shouldn't have sent that message. You offended them, or like, you came across as weird. They hated the message. Like, just starts to say the worst possible things. And you need to know that it's not true, okay? This doesn't have to come true. This could be a heads up to not let those thoughts win, and that whatever your mind is telling you, the reality is nowhere near as bad as that. So there's something that you're sharing. Maybe you sent someone a message. Maybe you posted something. Maybe you submitted your work somewhere and you don't hear back right away. your mind starts to plant all these seeds in your head of, you shouldn't have done that. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Starting to feel a bit of regret. This is how the retrograde is going to mess with your head. So be careful. And there is going to be a Mercury retrograde. I'm going to check when it is. Shortly after the Saturn retrograde, which I also feel could mess with you. So you can take this as a heads up. Mercury retrogrades 2025. July 17th to August 10th. Yeah, so literally like Saturn's gonna go retrograde July 13th. 4 days later, July 17th, Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of probably Leo. I don't know, probably. I don't feel like looking it up right now. But just remember that whatever your intrusive thoughts are telling you are not true. And yes, you should have done it because you did it and you were meant to do it. And these thoughts will go away. And probably the reason whoever hasn't responded yet, it's for a good reason. It's for the best case scenario. Okay, so I'll give an example. Let's say you texted your person of interest and you were like, hey, I was wondering. Okay, sorry. Let me start this over. Your person of interest is a huge fan of, I don't know, me suddenly not knowing anyone, is a huge fan of Hosier. I don't know. And you buy, I don't even listen to that man. I don't know why he came into my mind, but sure. You just go out on a limb and impulsively buy 2 tickets. And you text your person of interest like, hey, I have these 2 tickets to the Hosier concert. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And like, I was wondering if you wanted to come with me. And then you don't hear back. And you're like, oh my God, they don't want to go with me. They hate me. Meanwhile, your person of interest on the other side is going all over town trying to find someone to cover their shift so that they can go with you. And it's just taking a long time because nobody can cover it. And they're going the extra mile and asking this person and asking that person or trying to move their plans around, and it's taking some time. And then they get back to you. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I took so long to respond, but I finally found someone to cover my shift. And yes, I would love to go with you. So it's like, whatever is taking longer, it's actually the best possible thing. Because it's like, oh my gosh, they actually want to go with you so much that they went to all that effort to find someone to cover for them. So, and it's just like poor communication, right? They could have let you know if that's what was happening. But Mercury's in retrograde. We can't judge anyone for poor communication at this time. Ooh, we have the Emperor. So, don't retract anything. Stand your ground, don't back down. I do feel like, honestly, I feel like you can and will triumph over these thoughts of second guessing. Again, I do feel like you really fall into the group who's going to thrive during this transit. You have 2 Aries energies here, Aries here, and the Emperor is Aries energy, and Saturn's going to be in Aries. I think that Aries energy is going to awaken something really powerful in you. A lot of your self-doubt is going to dissolve and be replaced with self-confidence. You're going to get in touch with your divine masculine energy, which is the action taker, the initiative taker, is comfortable being assertive, comfortable making the first move, comfortable like going out and doing what needs to be done, no longer waiting around for things to happen. You're making them happen, no longer taking a passive role. Yeah, you're going to be really embodying that Aries energy during this transit. So Saturn does its little retrograde thing, but it's going to make you come out even stronger. Once your catastrophizing mind is proven wrong, it's not going to have that much power over you anymore. I can see you being like, oh, sure, catastrophizing mind. That's what you said last time, and everything worked out fine. And if that happens enough times, that voice really, really starts to lose credibility. Saturn's kind of whooping the ass of your catastrophizing mind, of your self-doubting mind. I'm not gonna say this, but I heard something and like Saturn was being referred to as Daddy Saturn. We're not gonna get into it, but Saturn can be daddy when he needs to be daddy. Okay. Maybe you're embracing your inner daddy energy, your inner zaddy. Regardless of your gender, I'm here for it. So after the retrograde period, Saturn is going to re-enter the sign of Aries. And it's going to stay there for another 2 years. So I feel like the rest of 2025 for you, group number 3, is about starting to get your ideas out there, whether that means like writing in somewhere, writing to someone, posting them somewhere, publishing something, releasing something, making something public, applying to something. You know, when we say put yourself out there, this is what we mean. Showing up for the opportunities that you want, showing up with the feelings that you want people to know. Saying, hey guys, I made this. Hey guys, I did this. Because you never know who's going to see it, and you never know what opportunities it can bring to you. So the rest of 2025 is about getting comfortable doing that and overcoming these limiting thoughts. And I think you're going to go into 2026 really feeling more confident and more in control than ever. So for the rest of Saturn's transit, it is going to remain direct in the sign of Aries from February 2026 to April of 2028. I just saw 3333, by the way. So that's going to be a really abundant period for you between February 2026 and April 2028. So let's see what's happening for you during that 2-year period. Ooh, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, some of you are like starting a family or settling down. We have, this 10 of Pentacles is actually very cute. It's like the parent skeletons watching their baby skeleton take their first steps. Very sweet. Okay, so some of you are starting a family or spending a lot more time with family during this period. Some of you could be visiting your hometown or moving back to your hometown. if that's something you've been thinking about. You could be connecting more to your ancestors or connecting more to your heritage, connecting more to the land where your ancestors came from. I wanted to say, if you don't resonate with starting a family, it could be, actually, for those of you who already have children, your child or children could be reaching a very significant milestone during this period, something that really sets them up for their future. Like, for example, maybe your child gets a scholarship or wins a championship or like gets into a really good school, or something happens that gives them an opportunity that sets them up for a long time. That was kind of a clunky sentence, but I think you know what I mean. Now, for those of you who don't resonate with starting a family or having children, these parent skeletons helping the baby skeleton take their first steps could also be interpreted as you and another person kind of building something up from the ground together and letting it take on a life of its own. You could be starting a very significant collaborative project with someone, and it's probably someone you deeply care about and deeply trust. So, a friend? Some of you could be collaborating with an existing friend, or through the process of collaborating, you build a friendship. But it feels like it could even be a family member, like you and a sibling start a business together. A friend, a family member, a lover, someone close to you, or that type of relationship blossoms through your work together. Feel free to claim both, by the way. You could be working on a project with someone and raising kids with them. Could very well be both. But you're building a life with someone. You're building wealth with someone. You're building a legacy with someone. That's going to be a big theme in this 2026 to 2028 period. And I just heard that wouldn't have happened if this Page of Swords didn't throw the paper airplane. Would not have happened. You never know. I think about that sometimes. These people in my life who are such big parts of my life now, and the way that we met could have easily not happened. You know, if I hadn't sent that message, if I hadn't called out to you at that party, you know, if I hadn't shown up that day, it could, like, just the smallest change and we wouldn't be in each other's lives and have this beautiful bond. Well, maybe we would. Maybe the universe would find another way, but it's kind of spooky to think about such a small thing that I chose to do that day, such a small thing I chose to say or that I chose to send out was the start of this years-long relationship that changed my life and this beautiful bond. You know, this is happening because you threw that paper airplane. What else can we know about this period? 2026 to 2028. What else can we know? We have the Five of Cups, and interesting in this deck, the skeleton is not like hanging their head in sorrow. They're expressing, it feels like they're expressing some kind of anger. Something is gone, I'm hearing. Something is not there anymore. And we have the Chariot. The fact that this Chariot is in the sky, I do think that you'll be making significant overseas travel during this period. Actually, it doesn't have to be overseas. I just said that. But yeah, you'll be making significant travel. The feeling that I got with the Five of Cups is like something that was once there is not there anymore, and you're like mad about it or you're very upset about it. And I can give an excellent example of this because Harajuku in Tokyo is just not what it once was. It used to be so cute. The station was so cute. The fashion was fashioning. Like the architecture of the station was very just charming. But I guess with the big influx of tourists, they had to make it bigger. And now it just looks like any other big, boring old train station. And it's completely lost its charm. And now there's like all these, like there's fast fashion stores and IKEA. And like, it's just, it's not the street fashion hub that it used to be. It's like just a generic touristy place now. And I don't know, that's what I felt when I saw this Five of Cups. So, I mean, that's a bit of a, it's not a great message, but that's just here. Like, by the way, guys, like, if I get a card like this and you're expecting me to say something positive, just click off the video, okay? I've been holding that in for a while. Okay? I'm like, if a challenging card comes out, I'm gonna say something challenging. Oh my God, groundbreaking. I'm sure most of you you get that, and that's not directed at you, and I love you. But for the few people who are like, Kino, that message was so negative. Yeah, it was. Okay, but yeah, it feels like maybe something's gone. Something's not how you remember it anymore. As someone who, I go back to my hometown twice a year, and it is sometimes sad to see like, oh, that store is gone, that building is gone, they put up this ugly thing. Even my neighborhood used to be just all like charming bungalows, and now people are knocking those down and putting up those like boxy modern looking homes. And I actually do like the look of those homes, but it's just sad to see the cute little bungalows go, and it's like kind of losing its charm. So you might see something like that happening in a place that you have a sentimental attachment to, but it's not everything. The whole point with the Five of Cups is that there's some good and there is some bad, and we have to remember to focus on the good. Focus on what is still there. There's still a lot of things you can find that are the same and that do make you happy, and change is inevitable. This is a number 5 card. Things are always going to be changing. Interestingly, I'm just realizing this card is associated with Mars and Scorpio, which can talk like Scorpio rules the death card, Mars rules the tower card. These are things ending, things being knocked down, and things are always going to change. And that place that you feel sentimental about that is gone, like, I don't know, maybe there's a really cute house that is gone now. And maybe 50 years ago, someone was looking at that same cute house and saying, ugh, this house is so ugly. I wish the other one before was here. So it's all perspective. And I think there's just something, and maybe this is like where Saturn comes into it. You're feeling the passing of time, and you're feeling the times have changed. Maybe you're feeling like, this new generation doesn't get it. This sucks now. Something's different. Something's different. Something's not there anymore. And it's like, why can't things just stay the same? And you, like, I'm starting to feel as a millennial, like, oh my gosh, I'm not the youth anymore. And I'm like, what are these kids doing? Sometimes I feel that way. And so anyway, I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but that's gonna be a pretty significant theme, I think, of this period, 2026 to 2028, is like, I'm feeling the times change. And some things are gone. Some things that I have really precious memories of are gone. It's like when Vine went away. Why? That's what this skeleton is saying. Why? Maybe, I don't want this to be true. Like maybe your favorite band is breaking up or something. Please don't claim that. Don't do it. But it's that same kind of feeling. Anyway, I think you get what I mean. Let's move on from this Five of Cups. So, your final card is the Chariot. And yes, this is a card that made me think that some type of travel is going to be happening. I also really like that we're flying over mountains because mountains represent obstacles. So in the years of 2026 to 2028, some major obstacle is going to be removed for you. Maybe it's something that lets you get around more freely. Something about passport, visa, citizenship, living situation. If any of you are in a long distance relationship, you are not going to be long distance. During this period, you're going to move closer to them, or they're going to move closer to you, or you're both going to move somewhere new together. There's something about you getting to travel more freely or more comfortably. Some of you might be starting to travel in first class or business class, or getting some kind of priority that you don't have to wait as long. I think some process is being expedited for you. Maybe the city you're living in is getting better transport that it didn't have before. They're building a train, they're building a subway. They used to not have a train that went from this city to that city, but now they do have one, so you can travel to this city much faster. I'm feeling travel and I'm feeling convenience. It's getting easier for you. I also feel that some of you could be taking a trip to visit family or to honor your ancestors. Some of you are going back to an ancestral home or going back to an ancestral land. And I feel quite emotional when I'm talking about this. You could literally be standing on a road and it's like, my great-great-grandmother used to walk down this road to go to school. Or this is the church that my ancestors went to. Like, I'm literally standing where they were standing. It feels very powerful with the Chariot being a major arcana. And I don't normally read the Chariot like this, so I feel this is really significant, and I'm meant to interpret it this way this time. Feeling connected to your lineage, the Ten of Pentacles gives that vibe as well. Yeah, you're getting a chance to connect to your ancestors, and no matter what physical things might come and go, no matter what places might come and go, the spirit is always going to be there, and nothing can destroy that. Nothing can destroy your connection to your history and your ancestors. I think you're going to feel really connected to your roots and really connected to your family during this period. I don't know if maybe something is going on in your fourth house, is kind of giving that vibe. But I think that is everything. And I also think that feeling that connection is going to really motivate you in building what you're trying to build and leaving a legacy behind. It gives you the strength to work harder and to persevere when things get tough. And this feels a lot like mastery, because here you're mastering your mind, and here you're mastering this physical plane. Like, you're going to keep going even when there's obstacles in the way. You're going to fly over them. And if you have that combination, then I fear, group number 3, you are unstoppable. And look at that candle still going, eh? She did it. We didn't need the spare candle. She probably doesn't have that much time left though. But she did it. The flame is still going. Group number 3, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I forgot to take the bottom of the deck card, which I've been doing for all of the groups, but it's the Two of Wands. What I will say about that is it's Aries energy again. So that's the third time Aries energy has appeared in your reading. Mars energy has appeared 3 times as well. Mars, Mars, Mars. Masculine energy feels Marsy. Yeah. I can't remember if I said this, but what I want to say with the Two of Wands is that the world is opening up for you, and you're going to feel limitless possibility. You're going to see potential where you once saw obstacles, because you're really getting set up to be able to overcome any difficulties. Yeah, and that's what I will leave you with, group number 3. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and a wonderful Saturn in Aries period. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch extendeds as well as exclusive full-length readings that only go up there. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video, that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!